we're using a diversity of tactics, and I think Georgetown needs to know that where there is oppression, there will be escalation. It could happen anywhere. I would just urge the university to not get too comfortable, to not get too complicit.
Is that a threat?
That is not a threat.
Okay. Are you a student here at Georgetown?
Yes, I am a student at Georgetown University. I'm also a part of Jewish Voice for Peace at Georgetown.
Are you Jewish yourself?
I am Jewish, yes.
And what would you say to other Jewish folks who might say, well, this feels very anti-Semitic?
Yeah, well, I, as a Jewish student, feel that my liberation is very intertwined with that of the Palestinian people. And so, to fight for Jewish safety means to fight for safety everywhere, to fight for the safety of the Palestinian people. And I feel that, it's part of my Jewish values to fight for liberation of all people anywhere. And so my Judaism drives me to do what I do.
Do you think most Jewish students on campus feel the same way that you do?
Well, there are a very vocal group of Jewish students that do not agree with me. We have a lot of Jewish students here. I'm not alone. There's a lot of Jewish students protesting, a lot of members in Jewish Voice for Peace at Georgetown. And I think that, there is a lot of work done to sort of suppress those narratives. But we are here to show that Jews are not a monolith, that, being Jewish does not require you to support the Zionist entity or the genocide in Palestine.
Yeah. When they shout things like "from the river to the sea, Palestine will be free," that's a phrase that I know some Jews that I've spoken with have been very offended by. Are you offended by that?
I'm not offended by any statement calling for the Palestinian right to self-determination in their land. I think that in addition to that, I think that if people are more concerned about certain language than they are about genocide and about the bombing and killing of over 186,000 Palestinians, then they should probably rethink their priorities a bit.
Yeah. What do you think of the two-state solution?
So I personally am not really here to prescribe a solution. I believe that whatever solution has to come from the Palestinian people themselves. I do support, right to self-determination in the entirety of Palestine from the river to the sea. But it's not my place to prescribe a solution. It's not the West's place to impose a solution on the Palestinian people.
Yeah. Do you think the nation of Israel has a right to exist?
That's something that's different for every person, their views on that. I personally do not believe that any nation state has the right to exist. I think that,
Not the Palestinian nation either.
I don't think any nation state has, a right to exist. I think that it is a privilege to exist, and the state of Israel has shown that it does not deserve that privilege.
Okay, so would there be a path forward, I guess, that I know you said you're not prescribing policy, but would there be a path forward that your organization is advocating for?
Like I said, we aren't organizing for any specific broad solution, but right now we are focusing on the things that we have a stake in. So our universities are investing in genocide. They're investing in Alphabet, Amazon, companies that provide technology to the Zionist project, and that is what we have a stake in, so that's what we're organizing against right now. Yeah. So that's why we're here fighting for divestment in particular.
Are you personally divesting from Alphabet, Google, and Amazon?
Yeah, so I personally follow the BDS list of guidelines. Customer boycotts are different than calls for divestment from larger institutions. So that's why I am both as a consumer boycotting from certain goods, and I'm also as a student advocating for divestment.
There were obviously encampments at GW in the spring. Do you think there's going to be encampments here this fall?
I think that Georgetown has gotten a little too comfortable based on the fact that the DMV encampment was not here. That being said, we're using a diversity of tactics, and I think Georgetown needs to know that where there is oppression, there will be escalation. It could happen anywhere. And so I would just urge the university to to not get too comfortable, to not get too complicit.
Is that a threat?
That is not a threat.
Okay.
We have no specific plans as of now, but the student movement is only growing angrier with every repressive policy, with every one of our dollars that goes to genocide. The student movement only gets angrier.
Yeah. If you don't mind, I want to read you a quick quote and ask your thoughts on who said this. So the quote is, "I will always stand up for Israel's right to defend itself, and I will always ensure Israel has the ability to defend itself." Do you know who said that?
No.
That was Kamala Harris.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on her position on Israel?
So I personally, don't really engage with electoral politics all that much, just because I know that liberation does not come from the ballot box. Liberation comes from the people. I personally don't believe that there is a lesser of two evils when it comes to a genocide. Genocidal policies are genocidal policies, no matter what party they come from. And we know that our two-party system will not liberate us. So, that's why I'm here. That's why I'm organizing and fighting for divestment, because that's what I have a stake in. That's where my agency is.
Not putting any stock in either party this fall.
I'm not, no.
Well, Miriam, thank you. Is there anything you want to add?
Just want to emphasize that, the repression that we are facing is only making us stronger, and that, Georgetown's intimidation tactics are not working. The student movement will prevail.
Awesome. Thank you for your time.
Thank
I
you so
appreciate
much.
it, Miriam.